This is not likely to be a video that's gonna like go viral or do really well. It's just something that I'm kind of excited about and I wanted to talk about. So I talked a lot about Bing when they brought in their chat AI and about how cool I thought that was. You could type in a search and you would get these more natural answers. And I used Bing a little bit during that time. I put it on my phone. I was using my Surface Duo at that point still. So I had it set as my default search mechanism and it worked pretty well, right? It was a little bit on the slow side, but it did still work relatively well. Thought it was very, very cool. And then we talked about the fact that Google had their own Bard AI that was going to try to be doing the same sort of thing. So Bing was out front with their lead, but we knew that Google was working on the same stuff, and in some capacities, Bing still has the lead with things like image generation, which I have used quite a bit. The banner on my YouTube channel has a little cartoon version of me that I made with Bing's image generation AI. Very, very cool to be able to do that. Like I said, though, Google had Bard coming in hot, and it has rolled out. I now have access to it, and it is just part of my Google search experience. And it is rapidly changing the way that I am using Google search. And I'll give you a good example here. So I tweeted this news story, I guess it's kind of a news story earlier today, and to research these numbers, to get this information, I did what I always would do. I will Google things. So I needed to know what price did the Pixel 7 launch at in Europe. So of course we would just go to Google and we would search for that. And typically you get answers, but I'm going to kind of hide that for a moment. You get the best answer, what Google thinks is the best answer up top, suggested questions, and then a bunch of links. A lot of the time, the correct answer is found here, but not always. In this instance, it is correct, but now up here we get this generative AI answer to this question. The Pixel 7 launched in Europe at a starting price of 649 euros. It then goes ahead and gives me the answer for the Pixel 7 Pro as well as the Pixel 7a. It gives me lots of good information. I can click on this and get some sort of sources to that if I want to do that, which we're going to talk about that in a minute. But the right answer is just there. And I've been finding that over the last week or so that I've had this, I'm just not scrolling past this anymore. I'm Googling things, I'm getting the answer, and I'm just not looking at any of this other stuff anymore at all. And that kind of runs us into maybe the first couple of problems with this sort of thing. So first off, Google kind of, you would assume, wants me to scroll down and click on some links. Otherwise, they're indexing an answer, but they're not really indexing the websites. That's kind of the purpose of what they do, is that you go there and then you go to other websites and you probably see AdSense ads on those websites, and it all sort of works together. But now I'm just getting the answer up at the top and then moving on to whatever else I was doing. So the principal function of Google is changing for me. And problem number two is that there are going to be times, presumably, where this is going to be inaccurate. I've not run into this problem just yet, but it is something that could at some point be wrong. And if we're just trusting that it's got the right answer, it has aggregated the right data and presented it to us, and we're not scrolling down and double checking things anymore like we ought to be, that could lead us into some trouble. And when it comes to stuff like this, that's really easy to do. On my own tweet I just showed you, this was wrong. It was 899 euro. I got confused because it was 849 pounds. I got these numbers mixed up, or I probably saw them on a website where it got me confused, and I had to dig in and actually get the right answer. Of course, I'd already tweeted it. With this, if we just take it at face value and don't do any extra digging, that could be a problem. Now, granted, that's always been a problem. People have this weird tendency to just read the first source, the first bit of data, and go, that's the right answer, and move on. So that instinct could be a problem if this is proven to be inaccurate, factually speaking, at times. For the sake of completeness in this video, I'll also show you how this functions on a mobile device like this. I'm just going to use the search bar down here and say, what's the forecast for today? And of course, you're going to get your standard answer like this. It's going to read this stuff off to you. But you can also click on the little Google search button and you can generate an AI answer for this question. It doesn't always auto-generate. Sometimes there's an option there to do it. And you can see how fast this is. This is another thing I need to touch on. It has really, really sped up. And of course, you're getting a pretty darn good answer to this question. What's the best Chromebook to buy in 2023? And you can see with this one, it is going to automatically generate that AI answer, and it's taken a little bit longer, but still pretty darn fast. And it's giving you lots of things to think about. Here are some things to consider: the display, the processor, the design. Here are some of the best Chromebooks. I mean, it's giving you a really, really good answer here with sources for all of these things. And that happened pretty quickly and pretty detailed. Again, this is changing the way that I'm using Google as a search engine. I'm sure as this rolls out to more and more people are using this, there will be, made obvious, more and more ramifications to this change. This is the biggest change to search engines, to Google, the most used website, the thing that we do the most with the internet since it maybe came out. Like, this might be the biggest change ever to this sort of thing. So personally, I find it to be fascinating to think about. I think that the new functionality is shockingly good already, but I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you using this? Are you using Bing's AI? Are you trying to swear off AI in general? Which to you, I would say, good luck with that, because you can't stop what's coming in instances like this. Let's talk about it in the comments down below, guys. Subscribe for more stuff like this, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.